You wouldn't survive a Stone Age hunt. And not because ancient humans were magical cave ninjas with perfect aim and emotional stability. Although, to be fair, you did once lose a fight with a fitted bedsheet. A Stone Age hunt was not a heroic movie scene where one brave person stands on a cliff, throws a spear, and dinner politely falls over. There was no dramatic soundtrack, no slow motion, no health bar above the animal. No tutorial message saying, press X to avoid being crushed. There was just you, the cold air, the ground under your feet, a weapon made by hand, a group depending on you, and an animal that very much wanted to continue being alive. And that animal was not impressed by your confidence. The first thing to understand is that hunting in the Stone Age was not sport. It was not content. It was not a weekend adventure where everyone goes home and posts a dramatic photo. Hunting was food. Food was heat. Food was strength. Food was children surviving. Food was elders surviving. Food was whether the group could keep moving, keep working, and keep waking up tomorrow. So when ancient humans hunted, the stakes were simple. Eat or don't. And don't was not a lifestyle choice. Now, modern people imagine hunting as a strength test. Big muscles, big spear, big confidence. Very cinematic, very stupid. Because hunting was not just about strength, it was about knowledge, tracking, patience, weather, wind direction, animal behavior, teamwork, tools, timing, and the quiet ability to not make the dumbest possible decision at the worst possible moment, which, for many modern people, already lowers the survival rate. Before the hunt even began, ancient humans had to understand the land. Where did animals drink? Where did they sleep? Where did they move after rain? Where did they go when it was cold? Which tracks were fresh? Which tracks were old? Which dung was recent? Which broken branch mattered? Which silence in the forest meant nothing? And which silence meant something nearby had noticed you first? You would probably look at a footprint and say, wow, nature. A skilled hunter might look at the same footprint and know the animal's direction, size, speed, and how long ago it passed. That is not magic. That is experience. Experience you do not have, because your main tracking skill is watching a delivery driver icon move on a map. Then there were the tools. A Stone Age weapon was not something you bought online with free shipping. It had to be made. Stone had to be shaped. Wood had to be chosen. Sinew, fiber, or cord had to bind parts together. Points had to be sharp. Shafts had to be straight. Bindings had to hold. And everything had to work when your hands were cold, your body was tired, and a large animal was making a very personal decision about your bones. A bad tool was not annoying. A bad tool could ruin the hunt. A cracked spear point could fail. A weak binding could come loose. A dull edge could waste energy. A broken shaft could turn you from hunter into background decoration. And yes, ancient people could make impressive tools. But that skill took learning. You do not become good at making survival equipment by watching one short video titled Primitive Spear Hack. You would also need to move quietly. This is a problem, because modern humans are loud in ways we do not even notice. We step on branches. We breathe heavily. We complain. We wear noisy clothes. We check our phones. We say things like, "Is that a bear?" at full volume. In a Stone Age hunt, noise could end everything before it started. Animals have ears. Animals have noses. Animals have survival instincts that were not downloaded yesterday. If the wind carried your smell toward them, the hunt might be over. If someone stepped wrong, the hunt might be over. If someone panicked too early, the hunt might be over. And if the hunt failed, the group still needed dinner. Nature did not say, "No worries, try again tomorrow with a discount code." Sometimes humans hunted small animals. Sometimes they trapped, scavenged, fished, gathered, or followed many different food strategies. But when people imagine Stone Age hunting, they usually imagine large animals, big animals, heavy animals. The kind of animal that looks like food from far away and a medical emergency up close. Large prey was valuable. Meat, fat, hide, bone, sinew, organs, marrow, all useful. One successful hunt could feed people, provide materials, and support the group. But large animals were not passive grocery carts with legs. They kicked. They charged. They gored. They crushed. They ran faster than you. They were stronger than you. And they had no interest in becoming a community resource. Imagine standing near a huge animal with a wooden spear and the confidence of someone who has never been kicked by anything larger than a shopping cart. That confidence would last about 3 seconds. Hunting also required teamwork. This was not usually one lonely hero solving hunger with a dramatic pose. Groups could plan. They could surround animals, drive them toward a trap, cliff, marsh, narrow path, or waiting hunters. They could coordinate movement. They could share risk. They could read each other's signals. They could decide when to wait and when to act. And this is where you become a problem. Because if you panic, you might scare the animal away. If you run too early, you might ruin the plan. If you freeze, someone else might get hurt. If you act brave at the wrong time, congratulations. You have invented a new emergency. A hunt was group work, and group work requires trust. Trust that the person beside you knows what to do. Trust that they will not abandon the plan. Trust that they will not throw a spear in the general direction of everyone's legs. Trust that they understand the difference between courage and stupidity. This difference was extremely important. Courage is facing danger with skill. Stupidity is facing danger because you forgot danger was dangerous. Modern survival fantasies often confuse the two. Ancient humans could not afford that. Even after an animal was wounded, the danger did not end. A wounded animal can be more dangerous than a calm one. It may run. It may turn. It may attack. It may lead hunters into bad terrain. A chase could become exhausting. Snow, mud, rocks, water, heat, cold, and darkness could all turn against you. And if someone got injured, the hunt changed immediately. A twisted ankle was not just a twisted ankle. It was slower travel, more work for the group, more danger from predators, less ability to gather food, more need for care. A small injury could become a large problem because the Stone Age did not come with an urgent care clinic. No X-ray, no painkiller aisle, no doctor saying, rest for 2 weeks. Rest for 2 weeks? In this economy? If a hunter was hurt, the group had to decide what to do. Help them, carry them, wait, protect them, share food, change plans. And every choice cost energy. Energy was survival. That is another thing modern people forget. Hunting costs calories. Walking costs calories. Running costs calories. Carrying weapons costs calories. Tracking for hours costs calories. Coming home with nothing costs calories, and also morale, which is basically calories for the soul. A failed hunt was not just disappointing. It could be dangerous. The group spent energy and gained nothing. Now everyone is tired. Everyone is hungry. And the animals are still out there, being extremely rude by not turning into soup. Then comes the part after success. Let's say the hunt works. Great. Now you have a dead animal. That is not the end. That is the beginning of more work. You have to process it, cut it, carry it, protect it from scavengers. Use the meat, use the fat, use the hide, use the bones, use the sinew, use everything you can. Because wasting food after a dangerous hunt would be like surviving a car crash and then throwing away the ambulance. Also, blood and smell could attract other animals. Predators and scavengers were not reading the room. They did not care that you worked hard. They smelled opportunity. A carcass could feed your group. It could also invite competition. And some of that competition had claws, teeth, and the emotional range of a tax collector. So the hunters had to stay alert even after winning. This is why Stone Age hunting was not one dramatic moment. It was a chain of risks. Find the animal. Follow the tracks. Stay quiet. Coordinate the group. Approach correctly. Strike at the right time. Avoid being injured. Follow the animal if it runs. Process the body. Carry the food. Protect it. Return safely. Share it. Do it again when food runs low. That is the part no one puts on the movie poster. The poster shows the spear. It does not show the aching feet, the cold hands, the failed attempts, the arguments, the hours of waiting, the fear, the smell, the flies, the heavy carrying, the person quietly wondering if they should have become a berry specialist instead. And still, hunting mattered. It brought food. It brought materials. It taught knowledge. It strengthened cooperation. It connected people to the land. It required memory passed from older people to younger people, where animals move, when they migrate, how they react, where water is, where danger hides. Which path is safe? Which path is the kind of path that makes your ancestors disappointed in advance? A good hunter was not just strong. A good hunter noticed things. A good hunter waited. A good hunter listened. A good hunter learned from failure. A good hunter understood the group. And a good group understood that survival did not depend on one hero. It depended on many people doing many things well. Some tracked. Some made tools. Some repaired weapons. Some processed hides. Some carried food. Some watched children. Some remembered old routes. Some knew where animals would be. Some stayed back and kept the camp alive. The hunt was only one part of a larger survival system. So would you survive a Stone Age hunt? Maybe, if you were born into a group that taught you from childhood. If you knew the land. If your tools were good. If your group trusted you. If the weather behaved. If the animal made a mistake before you did. If nobody panicked. If nobody got badly injured. If predators stayed away. If you understood that hunting was not about looking brave. That is a lot of ifs. For most modern people, the first problem would not be throwing the spear. It would be everything before and after the spear. Walking for hours, reading tracks, being quiet, being patient, handling fear, trusting the group, carrying meat, dealing with failure, and not turning every small mistake into a large funeral-adjacent situation. Your ancestors survived because they were skilled. They were observant. They cooperated. They learned the land. They made tools. They shared food. They took risks. And sometimes, they got lucky. Because in the Stone Age, hunting was not a hobby. It was hunger negotiating with danger. And danger usually came with hooves, horns, teeth, claws, bad terrain, and absolutely no respect for your survival fantasy. So the next time you struggle to open a jar and say, "I could survive in the wild," remember this. A Stone Age hunt was not just throwing a spear. It was knowledge, patience, teamwork, pain, fear, and the terrifying possibility that dinner might fight back. And if dinner fought back, you would probably become the lesson elders told children around the fire.